Friday night college football betting preview. Joe Duffy's picks. We preview all three of the Friday night games. We're going to have ATS trends coming up in just one moment. Back where we belong. Joe Duffy's picks has hit 4 out of the last 5 selections. We've got 3 college football led by 2 wise guy plays. One of the strongest regular season Friday nights I've seen in a long time. Even better on Saturday, 10 Saturday, led by 7 wise guy plays, 4 NFL on Sunday, all that and more. OffshoreInsiders.com. Let's get straight to it. Your betting preview for the Friday night games. Florida Atlantic and Central Florida. Central Florida among the strongest consensus plays of the week. This is a very rare case of the team on a short week versus an opponent off of a bye. UCF's last game was postponed because of Hurricane Florence. The team on a short week, 33-24 against the first half spread. So yeah, that would say go with Florida Atlantic on the first half spread, including 21-10 as underdogs versus the first half line. Totals of 76 or higher, though, go over 65-49 for 57%. So that kind of counterintuitive to my early years in gambling, where in most sports, when you bet a high total under or a low total over, you would generally do very, very well. But as the rules change and teams have become more pass-oriented and players are throwing even more in high school, high totals actually do go over. 204-mile difference between the two schools. Some argue this double-digit rivalry underdog. We've kind of disproven that, but those of you who believe in in-state double-digit rivals, keep that in mind. Now, we are going to have ATS trends on this in a moment. We're going to have ATS trends, in fact, on all of our games. If you do like this information, please do whatever you can to help us get the word out. Penn State and Illinois. Non-Saturday, unranked underdogs to ranked teams are 157 and 124. That would benefit Illinois. Again, all these records are against the spread. If we're talking straight up, I'm going to specify it. Conference foes on non-Saturday games go under 133 and 98, including under 71 and 41 before November. Look ahead. If you're into that, Penn State does have Ohio State on deck. Again, trends on these games coming up in a moment. But, the theory, let me just explain it. The theory being that the marquee games, that they're non-Saturday and they're going to be on national TV. There's going to be a little bit more of public reaction. So that kind of makes sense, where the public generally likes betting the ranked team, the superior team. Public not a big fan of betting the inferior team, and especially in pretty high-profile games. And again, if you consider weeknight conference or weeknight games as high profile, going against the public, it has been profitable according to that trend, going against the normal public thinking. Washington State and USC, conference home favorites without a cover all season, or a go against of 75 and 59. That would favor Washington State. Look, USC's offensive line has regained health, but their secondary is banged up. So that's one of those cases where USC try to overcompensate and keep the defense off of the field as their offensive line is getting healthier, but they do have some injuries in their secondary. Teams getting more than a field goal, despite at least 2 more wins than their opponent and a much better defense based on points allowed per game, 64, 44, and 2. That would benefit Washington State. Again, if you look at the records, Washington State, you would say, would be the better team, again, based purely on straight-up record. And if you look at the defensive stat, Washington State would be the better defense. And yet, they are a fairly big underdog, while going with underdogs in that situation, 64 and 44, excluding pushes. So Washington State, they're 3-0 against the spread. USC, 0-3 against the spread. Again, I'm going to have trends on these games, so don't go anywhere. We got a free pick for you, a total. Going against teams, betting the over when there is a team that's off a horrible game stopping the run, that's going over at a 151 and 96 rate. That would favor Miami, Ohio, and Bowling Green to go over the total of 53.5. Once again, Miami of Ohio and Bowling Green, Miami, Ohio. They don't like being called Miami of Ohio, but Miami, Ohio, over 53.5. Let's look at some trends for you. This goes back to our Score Phone days. This was the original very popular feature back in the 1980s on the Score Phones. We've been doing it since. Many of you continue to love it, one of your favorite features that we give. Make sure you do subscribe, of course, to our various channels. And again, please give us likes. That tells us you want more of this free information. And, you know, the more you like us, the more we'll give it to you. The Owls, Florida Atlantic and Central Florida. Florida Atlantic 6-1 after getting more than 450 yards in the previous game. 13-3 on the road against teams with a winning home record. But Florida Atlantic is 8-18 on grass. Central Florida 6-2 after allowing 275 total yards in their previous game. And despite being in-state rivals, these teams very rarely play each other. That's why we couldn't even look to see whether the old adage about double-digit rivalry dogs and double-digit in-state dogs would even apply in this game, or at least if the facts had said that that has proven to be true. Penn State and Illinois. Penn State 11-1 after scoring 40 or more their previous game. They're 13-2 following a spread win. 21-5 following a straight-up win. 19-5 overall. Illinois 10-23 following an ATS win. 3-8 after getting more than 170 yards passing in their previous game. Washington State and Southern Cal. Washington State 5-0 against teams with a losing record. They're 0-5 on grass. USC 14-5 following a straight-up loss. The road team has covered 5 of 6 in these series. Now, OffshoreInsiders.com, not only known for the place to go for the best sports service plays, but also the most thoroughly vetted sports books. And how do we vet them? Personal experience. I also have quite a few clients who are big-time players. They tell me which sports books are the best and which aren't the best. And quite frankly, if they tell me these sports books aren't the best, they aren't going to appear on OffshoreInsiders.com. And I've been in the industry literally forever, before there was an offshore gaming industry. I know the people that are the principals that make the decisions here. I know which ones are run by professionals, and I know which ones are just, run by bookmakers that don't know how to run a business. MyBookie.ag, there's only 5 or 6 that I unequivocally recommend. MyBookie.ag is one of them. Oh, yeah. By the way, my personal experiences with the sports book, I always like to say, and it's true, I'm a degenerate handicapper, not a degenerate gambler, so I don't have a lot of experience in the casino stuff there. Plenty of experience with the sports book, but everything I've heard about the casino is great, too. You got live dealers. If you're not internet savvy, you want to know how to set up an account, they have customer service people available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't even worry about that. They'll hold your hand if needed. Oh, yeah. Easy deposits, easy withdrawals, always within 48 hours you'll get your withdrawal in full, you'll get paid in full. OffshoreInsiders.com has all the best sports books and all the best handicappers. It's always been the case and always will be.